Hi, welcome back to That's Word. I'm Jordan, and this is my cute little podcast. This is my first ever episode. And it's called Coronavirus, because I'm super original. And today I'm going to be talking a bit about my friend Angelina and what her experience has been like living within a COVID household. And hopefully it all goes well and the interview goes smoothly. I can't make any promises about quality because there is going to be a bit of issue technology-wise. She is over FaceTime as she lives in the States. But hopefully everything works out, and yeah, I'll bring her in now. So, say hi, Angelina.
Hi.
Yay! Okay, this is my friend Angelina, and she lives in Buffalo, New York. She lives in Amherst. I won't go as far as exposing her freaking address, because that's kind of creepy.
Don't do that.
Don't do that. Don't do that. And I'm going to ask her some questions today about what it's been like to live with coronavirus. So, as we already know, there's been about 7.3 million cases in the States alone. And amongst New York, there's been about 465,000. And apparently, your family contributed to these cases, Angelina, so...
They did.
When that happened, how did you react? What was your family like? What was the vibe? What was the vibe?
The vibe was stressful.
A stressful vibe. That's word.
It was very interesting because I don't think any of us really expected that it was going to happen like this, especially so quickly. Because it happened, and then my sister got it, and then my brother got it, then my mom got it, and then I was just like, okay. Here I am.
Out of the two of us, I've known you over a year now, and honestly, with everything taken into consideration about how we live our daily lives, I swear it would have been me before you.
Honestly.
Like, of higher chance, not actually contracting it, but more likely to contract it, it would have been me.
Yeah.
So, the fact that it's you is kind of awkward. I
mean, I personally don't have it.
Naturally, being in Ontario, we have a lot less cases than you do. We sit at about 52,000, and over 44,000 have actually recovered. And we only have about 2,000 deaths, whereas Miss Angelina of New York has 32,768 deaths recorded less than 1 day ago in New York alone. Y'all gotta get your state together. That's pretty crazy, girl.
The whole country needs to get together, honestly.
That's kind of whack. How severe are the symptoms even in your family? Like how bad have they manifested?
Not very severe. My sister had just cold-like symptoms, and then my mom and my stepdad both had flu-like symptoms, and then my brother had a bit of both. Like in the beginning, he was like having like the symptoms of like throwing up, and then after that, he just had
throwing up. That's not a very common symptom.
It is in, like, younger kids.
Younger kids? For real? Wow.
Yeah.
So it's not all respiratory. It can migrate. Okay.
Yeah.
So who do you think has it the worst, then? Who had the worst symptoms?
Probably my brother, but he didn't have symptoms for, like, that long.
I just think it's funny how you opted out of going back to school for your brother's sake, for us to not give him the coronavirus, and now you're sitting at home with your virtual online, and your brother is ill, like, ill.
Not anymore.
So you could have gone to school. You could have gone, and you didn't. Do you think you would have gotten coronavirus if you'd gone, like, genuinely? Do you think you'd have it by now?
No, nobody has it yet. Well, except for one teacher in our school district had it in, like, the first day of school.
I don't think anyone from my school's had it yet.
No, besides that, I don't think anyone, like, in the entire, like, city has had it. In schools.
That's good. Amherst, at least. How do you even, bruh, how do you even stay in touch with the outside world? Like, you've been confined to your room for the last 2 weeks straight.
It's mostly just my phone. If I didn't have that, I probably would have no interaction with the outside world. Like, I literally have to text my family to bring me food.
How does that work? Your parents, They wear gloves, they wear hazmat suits, they saucing over. They pull up to your door, hazmat suit.
So my stepdad isn't actually contagious anymore, so he was the one bringing me food for a while. We had, like, gloves and a mask on when he'd bring it to me. They just leave it outside my door, and then I'd put my mask and my gloves on when I go get it. Then I come back in.
Having to wear a mask in your own home.
I do. It's kind of sad.
You're wearing masks in your own home, and there's still people who actively choose not to wear masks out in public. How does this make you feel? How do you feel about this ridiculousness?
Kind of not angry about it, honestly. Because just wear your mask, and it wouldn't be as big as it is now.
I went to the mall the other day with my friend Tayton, and there's a little table at every entrance of the mall with someone who sprays your hands with hand sanitizer and checks your temperature. And we saw someone get into this full-on riot battle with this, middle-aged mom and her infant baby because she wasn't wearing a mask. And the girl who was with her originally put on a mask, and because the girl was protesting, the mother was protesting, this woman who was with her took the mask off because she was scared of this woman and her baby. And so she pushed past the security, and security obviously called, of higher authority. And she wanted to go to only one store in the mall. And she walks in, she turns the corner, realizes her store is closed, and then exits. She fought with this lady at the front of, the friggin' entrance. For about 10 minutes, Tayton and I stood there and watched it. And she finally got through, no mask, and higher authority was called to come escort her out with her little infant. And her store was closed, so she left. I
haven't seen anything like that before.
Why? Masks are provided. You just gotta wear them. And if you have a health issue, stay home. Stay home. Completely really
unnecessary. It's very unnecessary.
Ridiculous. I don't even know what to make of this entire situation. Quarantine has been ridiculous. So you've been confined to your room so you don't get coronavirus. And I know it's probably been very lonely for you, right? You can't even see your cats right now.
I saw my cat last night, actually.
Leo?
Yeah, and this morning.
Awesome.
I just let him come in my room.
Even then, it's just in small doses, and it's really rare that you've been able to actually go out and socialize with your family. So you think it would have just been easier if you had coronavirus?
Probably, because then I'd just be out with the rest of them who also have it. So it'd probably be easier.
I mean, that's fair enough. We've been using, technology a lot and stuff to keep us kind of entertained while we're going through all this, so we've been keeping it, we've been using it to keep up with what's going on with society. But how do you think your parents would have felt if they had COVID at this age? Because we didn't have the advanced technology. They didn't have the advanced technology that we have now.
It would definitely be a lot different than it is now. How would they do virtual school back then? How would they keep in touch?
It would be a strain
people?
On them.
Yeah, it would be a lot different than it is now.
I mean, people
and not in a good way.
lived with the bubonic plague, though, so I'm not sure who really wants to talk, but...
Well, that's true, you're right.
And this has definitely gotten worse than the flu. I don't care what anybody says. This is ridiculous now at this point.
Yeah, it's out of hand at this point. And they need to fix it.
I don't even know what to make of this entire stupid situation.
It's been, 6 months and we still don't know?
I think it's been closer to 7 now. At the beginning of March,
7, yeah.
This had all went down.
It's October now.
Is it October? Happy October 1st, bro.
Oh my god, yes.
October 1st. So taking into account, what you think your parents would have done, if they had COVID at their age, as our generation, Gen Z, how do you think we are, in regards to how we handle it? How do you think we're doing? Do you think that taking into account our advanced media and technology, we're handling this a lot better than you think people would have? Your parents?
I think we're handling it, pretty well. I don't know.
For what it is, I've seen a lot of memes and kind of joking about the coronavirus.
Yeah, me too. I was gonna say that.
Overall, it's a very serious subject, and people have kind of just tended to make... And a lot of people have been disrespecting the social distancing rules.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of social media influencers are still constantly going to parties and getting backlash for it quite often.
I think at the beginning of this is, like, when the memes are really there, because I don't think people understood how serious it was going to get. They were like, oh, okay, the flu's here, alright, we'll be fine in, like, 2 months. No, we won't.
Yeah, I don't know. There's been rumors that it's just, like, some kind of deep state conspiracy, and I'm like, no, this is a genuine thing. It's real.
Yeah, I mean, I of course believed that it was real even before my whole house had it, but then after my whole house had it, I was really like, yeah, this is definitely real.
We have a question from a fan, and by fan I mean Connor, who sits behind me in media studies.
Connor. Okay.
His name is Connor, okay? You leave his name alone. Anyways, disregarding that, we have the question, do you believe the Chinese government created this as a warfare? It's a genuine question. I mean, I really want to know. What are your thoughts? How do you feel?
I don't know what to say about that. I don't think so, but it's a possibility.
I honestly kind of doubt it, but
I doubt it, but there is, like, a small possibility that it could have been that.
I mean, I suppose, but who would do that? Someone ate a bat, and here we are. I hope they really enjoyed that bat. I'm very disappointed in society.
Well, I mean, it's China. There's a lot of people in that country. I mean, I don't think it was on purpose, but there's always that chance that it could have been on purpose. But there's no way of us knowing.
It's been said that the virus that even causes COVID-19 probably emerged from an animal source. So, in other words, the frickin' bat. And it's just kind of evolving from person to person. Didn't a tiger from a zoo get tested for tiger with COVID? Yeah, it's a genuine... A Bronx zoo tigers and lions are recovering. It's nice to know that they're recovering.
Oh, yes.
That's very, very, very good.
Especially in New York, wow.
Who gave it the rule of thumb that we have to be 6 feet away? Like, why 6? What?
Yeah, I really want to know who made these rules. Like, I don't think they're true. I think they just made it up to make us all feel better.
There's a song called 6 Feet Apart by Luke Combs. Wow, very enticing. Thank you. This whole situation. Why is society so broken?
Broken.
Oh my gosh. So we already established that you stay in touch with the outside world just by using your phone. And I kind of find it amusing how that's our only form of communication. So it hasn't really affected us much. More so has it affected you and Grace, who's like your in-person best friend, who you probably haven't been able to see for a while.
Yeah, see, that was very hard in the beginning. Grace was one of the, like, only people I ever saw when it started happening, and I only saw her, like, maybe once a month. But then once it was, like, July and August, I was allowed to see her again. And my other friend, Tanya, who lives, like, down the street from me, I didn't see her either. And I hardly seen her up until, like, a month ago. It was hard not seeing them.
Luckily, I haven't had to worry about that because all of my friends have been relatively healthy, surprisingly. But I suppose Ontario and all of Canada has our cases much more under control than the United States of America.
Definitely.
Jesus,
I mean, the only thing that really affected us is, like, we wouldn't be able to go across the border and see each other even if we wanted to.
Canada-wide, there's only been a total of cases of about 161,000. United States-wide,
you guys go.
We have a beautiful 7.3 million, with an uprising of 41,000 just today. So
I feel like Canadians are a lot smarter than Americans, so that doesn't surprise me very much.
That's incredible, honestly. But the states are so irresponsible, and you have a walking Cheeto as your source of authority.
A tangerine.
Tangerine, if you will. Okay, anyways, we're going to take a quick snack break, and we'll be right back. So, Catch it in a second. Okay, and we're back. Angelina, say hello to our lovely audience, also known
Hello.
as Mr. Edwards. Hi, Mr. Edwards. I hope you're having a
Hi,
smashing
Mr.
evening.
Edwards.
Hi, Mr. Okay. Anyways, we left off with your lovely walking Cheeto president, who just had one of the most horrendous debates, I think, ever against Joe Biden the other day, might I say.
It was horrible.
Anywho, back on the coronavirus topic, which is our main foundation for this entire podcast, I did a bit of a ratio calculation to the death toll of the states to Ontario, and by that I mean freaking... No, okay, I'm cutting that out. Anyways, I did a test toll... What the heck? I can't talk. Okay, I did a test toll ratio comparison of your 207,000 cases to my 9,000. And that's a ratio of 23 to 1. 23
Wow.
deaths to 1 from the States to Canada. So, good on you guys. You really know how to raise a bar, huh?
We really just know how to be number one, don't we?
Yeah. When are you getting out of quarantine? When do you actually get to go back out into the real world and exist?
The state gives us like a quarantine time and then a time we can leave, and then every time there was a new case, it like went up by a couple days. I have no idea when we get out. I think like October the, I don't know, 10th maybe? No, 7th? I don't really know. Something like that.
When do you yourself actually get to leave your room and socialize with your family again?
It was supposed to be tomorrow.
Supposed to be.
My aunt, who's a doctor, she said that I should wait another week. So, I have another week.
Do you have any plans while you're just... I know you have school, of course, but what do you do on the weekends?
Not very much. I kind of just chill in here.
That is a very sad lifestyle to live, and I don't envy you.
No, you shouldn't. I chill in here. I, watch TV. I don't even watch TV that much.
What is your favorite show right now?
Oh, I'm watching Orange is the New Black again.
That's pretty good, honestly. That's a pretty good show.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it in full, but I hear it's pretty good. And I've seen
Yes, I'm on
an episode
season
soon.
5.
I myself am currently binging season 8 of Bob's Burgers.
Oh, I watch that every night too.
Yeah, I know you do. You got me hooked on Bob's Burgers. I was obsessed with it, and then I stopped for a bit, and I met you, and you're like, Bob's Burgers, and I'm like, no way. Bob's
I
Burgers.
love Bob's Burgers.
So you've just been looking out into the media, finding new things to watch and read up on while you've been in quarantine?
Yeah,
Have you done any reading? Have you read into the news? Anything exciting?
I'm not a big fan of reading, so I haven't done much of that. I probably should.
No one's a fan of reading. Anyways.
No.
Have you been listening to any new music? Are you into anything new? You got any new vibes going on?
I've honestly just been listening to like a lot of music I used to listen to like last year.
So you've been
I don't know
reminiscing
why.
on old nostalgic music.
I am.
Brought you back a little bit, huh? Going back to the older
Before
days.
quarantine.
Yeah, no. What is it? Not post-quarantine.
Pre-quarantine.
Pre-quarantine. Thank you so much. This podcast is a chaotic disaster, Mr. Edwards. I apologize. But, I keep... The awkward pauses are incredible.
Okay.
So you haven't really been looking into any new media. You haven't done any reading. Writing.
Really?
I mean, what's
Only
your
for
most
school.
used social... Can you check your screen time right now? Has your screen time... Can you check your screen?
Can.
What is your
Yeah,
most used
let me-
app as of late?
Ooh, hold on. Let me go find it really quick.
Okay. I should check my screen time as well and see what my daily average is for the week.
Oh my god. Should I do mine from from last week or this week?
Do it this
Or
week.
just this day?
You can do this day if you want for the 1st of October, yeah.
Wait, is this from... Okay, yeah, for the first day of October. It was 8 hours and 15 minutes. in total.
That's not bad. I'm
And
not too far
then-
behind. I'm at 8 hours and 20 minutes.
TikTok is my most used app. It has 2 hours on it
For today, TikTok's been your most used
for
app.
today.
Mine is
And
Instagram.
then-
2 hours.
For the week, it's 9 hours and 40 minutes.
My week daily
Um,
average was 10 hours and 21 minutes. That's up 7% from last week. Oh, that's embarrassing. Do you know what your total screen time was?
Total screen time, 48 hours and 17 minutes. That's from this week.
51
Oh.
hours and 49 minutes.
Wow, how are you using your phone more than me?
I don't know. I'm in class. I'm surprised Mr. Edwards hasn't called me
you
out
go
for
to
using my
bed
phone
later
more.
than me.
I do go to bed a lot later than you. What was your most
So that
used app
could
for
be
the
why.
week? Most used app for the week.
It was TikTok.
It was TikTok. What was your average?
13 hours and 4 minutes.
Mine is surprisingly Snapchat at 11 hours and 34 minutes.
Wow. I don't even have Snapchat, so I couldn't
I
do
know you
that.
don't. Why don't you have Snapchat?
I don't know, I just don't.
Even quarantine hasn't inspired you to get it. I've been trying to get you to get it for over a year now.
No, it really hasn't. I don't have any interest in getting it anymore.
I mean, I guess not. You don't really need it, but it's a decent form of
I
communication.
used to. Yeah, I don't really care that much anymore.
Have you picked up any new hobbies throughout quarantine? You been into anything new?
Not really.
Honestly, me neither.
No, I spent a ridiculous amount of money.
You did. I did as well. I spent so much
I
money
did.
that I didn't need to spend.
Yes, we both did.
I finally did get a job though, so what are you doing, Angelina?
Well, not getting a job because I can't leave my house.
Oh my gosh. I can't go to work, I'm ill. You're not
Can't
even
go to
sick,
work.
you
The
just
state
can't
won't let
leave.
me.
You just can't leave your house.
No, I can't. The state won't let me.
The state will not let you. Oh my god.
The only time I've left my house in the past month is to get COVID tested.
To get COVID tested. That is not a very... That's not a brag. That is not a
No.
brag. I'm very sorry
No.
for your loss.
Thank you.
I mean, throughout the entirety of quarantine, I pretty well didn't leave anyhow. And I don't think you really... you went out and visited friends a couple months into quarantine. But that
Yeah.
was really gradual, so it's not much different from when you were originally quarantined.
I think from March to May, I didn't leave my house once. I think the first time I left my house was to go to Target, and I was so excited to leave my house. It was ridiculous.
It was ridiculous, and then we had that toilet paper nonsense. Jesus Christ.
My mom was like, "Do you want to go to Target with me?" I was like, "Yes, please."
Anything to leave this humble abode of mine that is not so humble.
I was so happy to leave.
It is tiring staying so alone and confined to your room though. It's isolating
is.
and it's tiring sometimes. Definitely can take a
Yeah.
toll on mental health.
Yeah.
Yeah, it can. We don't have to talk too much about that though because that is kind of personal, but it has affected me and a lot of people, and I know you for a fact have kind of struggled a bit with your mental health over quarantine.
Yeah.
Overall,
Definitely.
this entire situation is just less than ideal. And the coronavirus has been quite the life changer and will be in the history books. And I hope I get interviewed on that. Because I want to be in a
yes.
history textbook. I want generations to know my name. No, I don't. That's embarrassing. But, what did you do during quarantine? I did nothing. Not a thing. I breathe.
I breathed. That's what I did.
Barely. A lot of people didn't, though.
Oh my
A lot of people actually stopped.
A lot of people did not.
A lot of people stopped breathing. The coronavirus is a very scary thing. Honestly, we should not be as joking about it. But what can you do but try and make the most of a horrible situation? I haven't FaceTimed you
can't do
very
it.
often either. We haven't even barely been talking.
I know.
So, okay,
Yeah.
I have one more curious question. What have you been doing to protect yourself while in the home to try and avoid getting coronavirus, even though it's pretty much right next door?
Huh? In a minute. That's what it's
All
called.
right.
That's what you should have named it. Chaotic Neutral.
My podcast is called That's Word, Angelina. Anyhow, one more question. What have you been doing to protect yourself throughout all of this? Like, because coronavirus is literally right outside your door at this point, in a sense.
It is.
So, you've been using that alcohol-based hand sanitizer?
Yes.
Or that Bath and Body Works hand sanitizer that is 10% alcohol and 90% glitter?
90% glitter. It's kind of both. I mean, the only reason I leave my room is to use the bathroom and to feed my cats. And to get my food. But that's like 2 feet away from my door. So, when I go out of my room, I have my mask on, I have my gloves on, and I have like a blanket in between the door and like my floor, so there's no air coming in my room.
So you've really had to make a bit of accommodation to even leave your room now at this point.
I did.
You really had to
I
accommodate.
really did.
I mean, whatever works, though. It's kind of amusing, considering one of the most preventive actions you can take is to avoid close contact with people who are sick. And you are in a home with people who are sick.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah.
It seems Matthew's doing well.
He's doing fantastic.
Yeah, clearly. We can hear from the background.
He's very loud.
The system is broken. I've stated this before, but I'm saying it again. Everything is broken.
Everything is broken.
Okay, well that about wraps everything up. Do you have any closing statements on the coronavirus? How you feeling? Are you excited to be out of quarantine? Are you excited to be free? And by free, I mean outside.
I am, yes. But I have one thing to say. I think I told you about this, but back in like February, before it was in the States, but it probably, like before we knew it was in the States, my entire house got sick, except for me.
Once again. So do you believe you're just invincible?
I don't know. There's gotta be something in me. It's just like,
Okay.
You're not getting it.
You know what? I'm not going to go as far as invincible, because we're not going to bring up that one time you had the really bad flu, like a month before I met you.
Oh my god.
That's embarrassing.
I was the only one sick at that time, actually.
That's... What? You're...
See, it's making no sense. I was the only one who got sick that one time, and now the past 2 times, I have not gotten sick. I don't understand.
You gotta keep it interesting, you know? If you're all sick, that's boring. That's really boring.
It's just my job to keep it interesting.
It is your job to keep it interesting. You are a medical miracle. Just kidding. It's probably more common than we're making it out to be, but...
I really, went to California, and, right before this started.
I remember that.
Too.
California has over 800,000 cases right now.
Yeah. That's where we believe it came from.
It's like a major spot, though, to be getting it. So do you think...
the day prior I went to California, some, flight attendant, who worked for LAX was, had it, and I flew into LAX, and I was like, okay, I'm probably gonna get it now.
Yeah, their deaths... They have less deaths than most, actually. They only have 15,000 deaths, but...
Yeah.
That's less than you guys.
Horrible.
So it's not tragic, but they do have more cases than you guys as well, which is kind of amusing. So, New York doesn't really know what they're doing. But we hope to get it under control.
We don't.
For now, we stay in lockdown. Doug Ford's beginning to close a few things down again. He says if it gets any worse, he's going to close down restaurants and all kind of leisure buildings.
I feel like that's what we need to do.
And is actively trying to avoid closing down schools at all costs. So...
Fun.
Just absolutely immaculate. Very good planning, Doug Ford. Thank you so much for your time and effort. And thank you for your time and effort. I know this was kind of a chaotic podcast, but hopefully...
It was spontaneous. That's what it was.
It was quite spontaneous. I kind of just called you
was.
and told you we were doing a
You're
podcast.
like, okay, podcast time.
Podcast time. So... all I have to say is that's word, you know? Thank you for your time and effort. As I've previously stated, I don't know why I'm rambling at this point. My podcast is already over 20 minutes. So that's swag in a handbag. But
handbag.
anyways, I hope Mr. Edwards has fun grading this. Hi, Mr. Edwards.
I hope so too, honestly.
I can't wait to tell you what I got on it. It's out of 36. Hi, Mr. Edwards.
Hi, Mr. Edwards.
He's probably
I hope he
listening to this
enjoys
at
this.
home. He's probably listening to this at home with his little kids right now. I hope his kids are well. Oh, I'm still recording. Oh my gosh. Okay. Okay, so that's the end of my podcast. Any closing statements? Any closing words, Angelina?
No, I think I said it all.
Do you think that's been word?
It has been word.
Alright. So on the note of Angelina, it's been word, and I'll be back again next Sunday, where we're gonna start talking about the different kinds of juices that I like. You know? I got smoothies. What kind of juices do you like, Angelina?
I like apple juice.
Apple juice, orange juice. Which is the better breakfast juice, apple or orange? Or are you team apple or orange for breakfast?
I think apple, honestly.
Alright, so Angelina won't be joining us next week because orange is a superior juice. But, in other words, this is the end of the podcast. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I'll catch you next week. No Angelina, though. Orange juice is superior. Thanks again. Bye. Angelina, say bye.
Bye.
Bye.